afternoon, friends. Welcome back to West Fork. Our strange winter continues. We have no snow on the ground at all. It's above freezing out here. Thought it was a good time to come out and sit by the campfire. I got to thinking about ropes and knots, and I asked myself, what is the knot that has served you the best over the years? And it didn't take me long to figure that out, because there's one knot that I use around the homestead all the time, and I use it in our broom shop almost every day. It's called the constrictor knot. It is the Swiss Army knife of knots. I use it for so many different things. I thought we need to do a video just for the constrictor knot. I'm going to show you how to tie it, and I'm going to show you all the ways that I use it and how many times it has really come in handy around here on the farm. So stay tuned, we're going to get right to it. And if you're new here, welcome to West Fork. Let's go inside and I'll show you how to tie this knot, and then we'll go over the many applications where it can come in handy. Okay, welcome to our knot laboratory here. And for this, I brought this really big old rope here so you can see how easy this knot is to put together. We have two different parts of the rope here. The standing end, which is stationary. We're not going to use this, we're going to tie around it. And then the working end. And this is the end that's going to run the route to create the knot. So let's work on the constrictor knot. It's very similar to a clove hitch. The working end goes over our broomstick, and as it comes around, it's going to cross like this. And it's going to continue. It's going to go around the standing end. There's an X formed right here at the top because we crossed over. We're going to go underneath that X. Let's do it one more time. The working end's going to go over the top, around, cross over, go on the outside of the standing end, and then up through the middle of the cross. This top part's called a bridge, and it locks the knot into place. Let's do it with a small piece of line now, because then we can cinch it up. This line has a lot of rigidity, and it isn't going to constrict like a piece of twine will. So let's get a piece of bank line. I can demonstrate it with bank line. Okay, now we're back with the proper piece of line. This is like number 36 bank line. And so this is the standing end, this is the working end. And the working end goes around the outside, and then up through the little X. And this will cinch up really tight. And I'm not going to cinch it up too much right now because it'll get stuck on there. Burning a little fir bark. It feels real good. It's already getting chilly out here. Knot tying is not easy for everybody. And if you can't remember how to tie the knot, it isn't going to serve you very well. I had a lot of trouble learning my knots until I got a job as a deckhand on the fishing vessel Yardarm Knot up in Alaska. I worked for this old crusty dude named Chuck, and Chuck must have liked me. He called me Miller Kid. Chuck taught me a lot of knots, and I'm not sure why he took me under his wing. It might be because I would wake him up in the morning for our shift with a cup of coffee and a lit cigarette, and he really liked that. That was like a big welcome. Chuck taught me a lot of knots and taught me how to remember these knots, and this is what worked for me. He would teach me a new knot and then tell me to tie it 10 times once I got the hang of it. So I would tie it 10 times, and he would say, tomorrow morning I want you to tie it 10 more times. And then after I got pretty good at it, remembering it, he would say, okay, I want you to tie it in the dark. Well, it wasn't dark in Alaska in the summertime, so he would blindfold me and I would tie these knots. He taught me the bowline, the clove hitch, the figure of 8 knot, the monkey's fist, the yard arm knot, seizing, a lot of different knots that have really come in handy. And he taught me the constrictor knot. He taught me how to splice line. But his method of learning is important because doing something repetitively like that doesn't only make it go into your brain, but it goes into your muscle memory. And at that point, you internalize the knot so you can recall it when you need it. The other thing that Chuck taught me is that a knot is no good for anything unless you know how to use it, where to apply it. So let's go over to the tie-in bench. I'm going to show you some awesome applications for the constrictor knot. Okay, a constrictor knot does just what it says it's going to do. It constricts things. It squeezes the tar out of things. So you can use it for a hose clamp. Well, I hope you can see that okay. I just cut myself about 1 foot of number 18 bank line. This has about a 200-pound tensile strength, and we can just put the constrictor knot on here. Just put it around here loosely, and then I can move it into position. Got it a little bit too tight, it's wanting to grab. And then just place it over the barb. I can set it hand tight right now, and then I'm just going to check and make sure it's all tighty. And then if you want to get it really tight so it doesn't leak, take a couple pairs of pliers and just pull it till it feels like it's going to break. And that's on there nice and tight. So now we'll just trim those tag ends off about 1 inch long. And it's a pretty good hose clamp. You can put 2 of them on there if you wanted to. That's a pretty good hose clamp. One thing Chuck would not allow on the yard arm knot was for any line to have its bitter end undressed. And we didn't always have time. We had a lot of fishing to do. We didn't always have time to do proper seizing on these. But we could always make time to throw a constrictor knot on the end of the line to keep it from unraveling while we were working. So to do that, I would usually come back about 1/2 inch from the end. Make sure the line is laid back straight. Put a constrictor knot on there. Give it a pull. And for this, you can just pull it hand tight, because when you do have time, you're probably going to put a proper seizing on there. But this will really last a long time. And now I have the tag ends trimmed off, and it's not going anywhere. In the broom shop, I use the constrictor knot to bunch up whisks. And every whisk that we make is started with a constrictor knot. It's a good way to bundle up twigs or fibers. This old whisk has been out in the yard for a while, but I still use it out here when I'm wood carving. Holding up pretty good. There's a constrictor knot right here to get me started for a solid connection so I can make my wraps and build this whisk up. Here's another example of bunching up bristles. This is a pine needle pot scrubber, a little bushcraft project with 3 constrictor knots for a handle. It does a pretty good job cleaning up cast iron frying pans. Was working on my trailer last year, and I'm kind of tired of buying zip ties. Zip ties, they get baked in the sun around here, and a lot of times You just find them laying around on the ground. And this stuff, it holds up good. It has tar in it. It keeps it from degrading. Makes great zip ties. Just put a constrictor knot on the wires. Tidy things up a little bit. One thing about using the constrictor knot on wires is you don't want to tighten them up too much. Just leave a little tail. Leave a little tail. It looks better than a zip tie in my opinion. And I don't really care that much for plastic stuff. And I don't like to buy things all the time when I can get by. Back in the old days, they didn't run to the hardware store every time they had a misfortune. Anyway, that'll do a real good job for you. Probably never have to replace it. Right there. I was on a job one time where we had to install dozens of sandbags for a flood control project. And we used a constrictor knot to go around the sandbags. It was really pretty quick and pretty easy to do. Couple feet of line. I'm using that number 36 bank line for this gunny sack. If you're just going to tie a duffel bag, you can just snug it up. You don't have to constrict it so tight you won't be able to get it off. If you get it too tight, you're going to have to cut it. But like on sandbags where they're permanent, we would pull them down as tight as we could get them. Never had them leak or anything. We could throw them around and never had one come loose. So that's a good way to cinch a duffel bag or a sandbag. So far all the constrictor knots we've tied have been with this nylon tarred seine twine, or bank line, some people call it. This is really good. This is number 21. It's very strong. And then this is number 36. This would be good for duffel bags and such, where you want a little thicker line. Won't cinch up quite as tight. And but yeah, you know what? The constrictor knot is the Bushcrafter's zip tie. This stuff is tarred marlin, and it is natural hemp. It's impregnated with pure Stockholm tar from Sweden. It smells good. It comes in different sizes. This is about 1/8 of an inch thick here. And this is the same stuff. This stuff's probably more like 3/16. It's very strong. And I've been using this stuff for the hang loops for our brooms in our broom shop. It smells so good. I just love it. It smells our shop up. That Stockholm tar and that natural hemp. They used this on tall ships years ago, and they've been making this. This is the traditional type of product that they would use on tall ships. It's not in demand much anymore, but they still to this day, seamen and sailors use this stuff for traditional wooden boats and tall ships. And it smells like history. It's great tinder, and you can use it for bushcraft projects. And it takes the constrictor knot real well. It doesn't have the stretch and the grip that nylon twine does, but it has a tensile strength and it doesn't decay. So it's really great for semi-permanent shelters. And once you smell it, you'll just have to have it around. I highly recommend the constrictor knot for a bow drill or a drill bow for a bow drill fire. And here I have put a clove hitch on there with an additional half hitch. Put a constrictor on the end here. I did carve a little notch there. We can just nestle the knot right into that notch. We'll fasten the knot right in that area. Yeah, we'll give it a good tug. Yeah, let's test the constrictor knot on the end there, and it won't budge. The more you pull on it, the tighter it's going to get. And one more thing before you go. If you ever want a constrictor knot that has a little bit more grip, you can take 2 wraps at the diagonal when you're tying the knot, and then just proceed in the normal fashion. Go under those 2 wraps as if it were one, and when you cinch that up, it'll give you a broader area of constriction. This is called the double constrictor knot. This would be good for tidying up laid mooring lines that have lost their seizing and are starting to come unraveled. Anyway, it's a good looking knot. It's just kind of twice as big and twice as wide. That's my most useful knot, the constrictor. So if you're inclined, practice it 10 times every day for the next week, and then put it to use around your place. Whether you're out bushcrafting, making shelters, or you're just working around your homestead, sometimes it isn't all about big projects. Sometimes self-reliance is more about knowing a few forgotten skills that save you money and a lot of trips to the hardware store. Well, Tig and I are going to sit here and enjoy the fire a little longer. We sure appreciate you joining us for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Drop me a comment. Let me know what your most useful knot is. And feel free to subscribe if you're new. We'd love to have you. Until next time, this is West Fork, over and out. What do you say, Tig? Oh yeah. What a good dog. Want to come up? Want to come up? What a good puppy. Looking for a biscuit? We better get you a biscuit.